Hello! Today I'm going to talk a little bit about Metamorphosis books, and I call them Metamorphosis books because they are all about transformation. They transform a single sheet of paper into a book. So if you're going to write a short story, make a fun card that's interactive, write a poem and you want to illustrate it, these are the perfect vehicle to share those ideas and that expression. As I said, all they use is a single sheet of paper, or in some cases they can even use just a half a sheet of paper, and you'll need a pair of scissors. You can use some glue as well, but it isn't absolutely necessary. You can start out with just a blank sheet of paper, or you can decorate your papers. All of these I have decorated on both the front and the back, and I've tried to create contrasting colors and kind of environments on the fronts and the backs so that their differences can kind of be accentuated in these books, because these books use both sides of a single sheet of paper. You can use ink or watercolor or acrylic paint, as I did here, and I have some videos on using that with wet on wet, where you put the water on and then you drop the paint into it and it creates some beautiful effects. You can use paste paper. You can use acrylic paint in a more opaque approach. You can actually paint a story or figures on your sheet of paper. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that the middle of your paper is going to be the top of your pages. So if you're going to actually create scenery, you want to have the outsides of your page be what would be called the ground, and then the middle of the paper will be, kind of like the sky or the top of the whatever scene that you're making. So I'm going to show you how to make a few different kinds. They all kind of start out the same way, though. Take your paper and you fold it long ways. I believe this is called a hot dog fold because it's long like a hot dog. Okay. So as we continue to fold these pages, this will be the bottom of the page and this will be the top. And on the other side, this will be the bottom, and it looks kind of like a little bit like a hill back there, and then these are the clouds. Okay, and then you take your paper that is already folded and bring it up so that all of the edges meet, okay? And you want to make sure that this is good and even. Depending on how thick the paper is, it might kind of have a mind of its own and decide where it wants to fold, and you just have to, kind of shift it around until you get it to the place that you need it to be. Okay, and now we're going to fold each one of these sides back to the middle. And see, this is a little bit thick and it kind of wants to be folded in a little bit crooked. So I just have to kind of curve it back, re-straighten it. I like to cover the paper with a background first, and then I can add the details on top of that. But it's kind of a head start so that I don't just have blank paper. Okay, so you can see it's like a W, and one side is open. This is the bottom side of the pages, and this is the top. And now this is a nice little book even just like this, but we're going to do something a little bit more to it. I'm going to open this back up. Take your scissors, and we're going to cut out these middle two. I'm actually going to trim these just a little bit, and you'll see why in a moment. Okay, so this is the shape of the main paper that we have now. Fold this back under. So this is the book that we have now. Okay. Now this next part, you can just kind of freehand it, or if you want to be a little bit more meticulous, you can use a little ruler, and this is just a quilting ruler. Okay, so this is just shy of 4.5. So we're going to try to cut in the very middle. So that will be 2, and you cut all the way to this fold. Okay, and now we can, I'll just go ahead and use the straight edge, but I'm not going to worry about measuring this exactly. Okay, so now the middle has 4 kind of tabs that we've made. Take the 2 rectangles that you have cut out and decide which direction you want them. I'm going to go ahead and keep them the same direction as the rest of the paper, with the kind of clouds up here and then what is kind of like a landscape down here. I'm going to weave them through. So this card goes over and then under and then over and ends sure what that's catching on. Okay, so it looks like that. This one's going to be the opposite. It's going to go behind the top one and then over the next one, behind this. This doesn't go quite to the edge, so okay, so do you see that these two are kind of alternating? This little book is full of secrets. Okay, it's kind of a neat way of hiding messages. You could include some of the text in here, hidden behind clear view, and then notice that when we have threaded these little cards into these tabs, kind of woven the paper, we have what looks like an accordion fold. But when we close the book, these two separate, and we have a sunset again on the inside. And we have 2 pages. So it turns into a regular little book with pages. And then you close it again and pull it from the back, and it turns back into an accordion fold. So this book is a really good one. You can include scriptures or poems or songs with lyrics that are inspirational to you. You can write down some of the challenges that you have on one side, and then write down the words of encouragement and comfort that you have on this side. You can include messages under here, and you can decorate both of the covers as well. So that's our first little Metamorphosis book.